guys. I forgot my cart, so rushed to get it. You probably heard me wheeling it over here. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm here with my first Christmas in July card class at home. I'm looking forward to this one. I can't believe I've got to stop doing things the very last minute. I was working on these cards. If you guys saw my post on Facebook and Instagram, it was kind of funny. I stopped for a second and saw my big mess on my table. It was like, oh my goodness. I guess that's when we're most creative, isn't it? When we've got a messy desk. So let me get post my post up here. Oh, hi, Chris. You are here. I'm glad you're here, Chris. Hi, Linda. Okay. I am looking forward to this. I'm going to be using the horse and sleigh bundle. I was going to try to use that trekking along one, but a lot of you probably already heard this. It's not available right now. It's supposed to be back in next week. So I should be able to do the trekking along class next week. So I thought, well, I'm going to do something. If you guys really like the cards and you haven't gotten the bundle yet, you'll be able to, because everything I'm using today is still available. So I didn't want to frustrate you and be like, oh, I'm going to hate this. But I had a lot of fun doing this. This is the first time I've done Christmas in July. Usually I don't do a lot of Christmas stuff in July. Maybe when back when we could pre-order, the holiday catalog doesn't start till September this year. It's later than usual. So maybe I might make a couple in July, but nothing really trying to do Christmas in July. So I hope you like this class. And you're probably thinking, if you've seen some of these, okay, I bet she's got the sleigh on every single card. If you haven't seen my picture that shows all the cards yet, I've only made one with the sleigh. I wanted to show you different ways you could use it. You aren't just limited to that big sleigh, even though it's gorgeous. I love the sleigh. That's going to be the second card. Hi, Paula. I'm glad you're here. And by the way, I just mailed those embellishments you won last week. I kept getting busy, and I ended up mailing yesterday, I think it was. So you should be getting those real soon. Speaking of door prizes, we might as well go ahead and do that. Let me move these out of the way. Oh, let's trans this. There we go. These were the embellishments. Oh, wait a minute. I've got something not working here. Oh, things are going to look strange. Okay, well, you're going to have a weird looking screen here in a minute. Oh, hi, Sue. Watching from Lakeshore. I'm glad you're here. And I bet some of you are having heat waves. I know there are places in the U.S. that have major heat waves. I forgot to look what our temperature was. I think it was going to be in the mid-80s today. So it's hot here, but still not as hot as some places. So it's kind of funny making winter scenes in the summer. But these opal rounds were retired last year, back in April, actually. And I've got a few of my retired embellishments. It's a full pack, never been opened. And I've got a bunch of people that commented last week. I'm going to have to do something a little strange here. It's going to be a black screen. I don't know why it went away. Let's see if I can fix this. I wish I could fix it behind the screen. Okay, hold on a minute. I need to change one thing. I knew I was forgetting one more thing, but the time was running out, so I hurried up and came on. Let me do this. I'm sorry for the black screen. I promise it'll come off here in just a minute. It's not your computer. You're fine. It should become, yay, I got it. Okay, so now I'm going to do the door prize wheel. Make this a full screen so you don't see a bunch of stuff. It looks a little neater on the full screen, so I'll put this on here. Now, those of you on YouTube, I can't see your comments right now, so I'll reply back here in just a minute in case some did. But this is everybody that commented during the live last week and commented during the recording, if they watch the recording later. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Let's see who won. Now, our door prizes are limited to people in the United States because I'm dealing with product. So that's per Stampin' Up rules. Okay, Becky Tipton, Schlossnagel. I think that's how you say your name. I hope you live in the United States. That sounds like a German name. But congratulations. And if you could either message me if you're watching on Facebook or click that contact me link below in the video description and give me your mailing address. I'll get these mailed out to you right away. So congratulations. Okay, I'm going to get this back down again so I can get back to my other things. There we go. I've been looking at some other live software. I keep going back and forth. I thought I had another one figured out. And it's a little more than I was wanting to spend, but I still might end up doing it because it's got a thing where you can actually do a door prize during the live with the comments. And I don't have to, I could probably still do that door prize wheel since I do recordings. But for the live, for everybody that comments live that gets a door prize, possibility of getting a door prize, I could do that during the live and you wouldn't have to come back. So I might be looking into that. We'll see. So congratulations. I'm glad you got that. Put that to the side. And now I'm going to show you what you get when you comment during the live. And I thought since we're doing Christmas, I still had the my red rhinestone basic jewels. I have a couple packs of these actually, but these are perfect for putting, like if you're doing a Christmas tree, you could put these on the tree for little lights. It's just, I use these a lot. I was kind of sad to see them go. They're perfect for Christmas and Valentine's Day for that matter. So everybody that's commenting during the live will get put in the drawing for this. And since I don't have that fancy software, what I'll be doing like usual, once the live is over, I will go and put everybody's comments in that wheel you just saw a minute ago, in a brand new wheel, of course. I start all over again. And then I will do the wheel, get the name, and then I will come back and make a post on my Facebook page saying who won, and also in the communities tab of my YouTube channel. And on both places, I'll go ahead and put it in the comments of the video too. That way you've got a few places where you can find it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, yeah, and I do want to show this too. Then everybody that's watching the live that comments and everybody that's watching the recording. So if you're watching this after the live is over, you're watching the recording, make sure you still comment. You'll get added to the wheel also, and you can possibly win these. These are the opaque adhesive-backed gems. I might have given these away another time. I've got a few of these, but I really love the colors. I know it's white fresh freesia. I think it's melon mambo and gorgeous grape. So those colors are all still available. So this is really nice. And the white ones you can turn to any color you want, change it any color you want to. Oh, hi, Becky. I just saw you on there. I think you said that a few minutes ago, but I just saw your comment. I'm going to bring up my YouTube here, see if I've missed any over there. Oh, there we go. Oh, I sure have. Hi, Chris. Glad to be going on Christmas instead of the holiday rush. Yes, I really should start making. I always wait till last minute to make my Christmas cards. I really need to make them. Well, I make the Christmas cards for you guys. I don't make them for my personal stash. Sometimes I'll grab a lot of my extras and send those out, but I usually still need to make more. So I need to do that earlier. Okay, Linda's here. Thanks for watching, Linda. Good. I'm glad you love Christmas in July, Linda. And your top matches the class front theme. It sure does. You know, Chris, I didn't even think about that when I put this on. It sure does. I've got some red on today, don't I? Okay, so I'm glad you guys like the embellishments. So, like I said, this is for everybody that comments during the live and the recording. And this is for everybody, just for the people that do the live. Oh, hi, Jen. First time from Maryland. I'm glad you're here. I always love to have my regulars back, and I really love having new people come too. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do a few business things, and then we'll start making cards. There are only 2 days left. Let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. 2 days left of my to subscribe to my monthly online card club. That's not easy to say when you're trying to say it fast. This month I'm featuring the Earthen Textures bundle. I love this bundle. And I've made one alternative card already, a video. I'll be posting another video probably sometime tomorrow with my other alternative card. And in that alternative card, I also show you everything you get in this month's kit and all the information that you need. But you do get at least $21 to $27 worth of product. You also get card kits to make 2 each of the 3 cards you see pictured there. I'm just showing the sneak peeks. Only the people in my club get to see the full cards and the people on my team. So everybody that's in my team will also get the exclusive videos and the PDF that I do. And yes, I do a PDF along with the exclusive video tutorial, and nobody else sees that except my club members and my team members. Then every 6 months, if you stay in the club, you'll get a bonus package worth $25, and I will pay the shipping and tax for you. So that's $25 in product. And then you can cancel anytime. There's no commitment. If you need to cancel before your 6 months, that's fine. But if you come back, your 6 months starts all over again with number 1. So I want to make sure you know about that. So you've got until this Saturday, July 15th to subscribe. And there is a link down in the video description. Tons of links down in the video description. So if you miss anything, you'll probably find it down there. But click that contact me link if you have any questions or comment, and I'll come back and answer your questions. But you can get all the information in that monthly online card club link down below. Bonus days. I love bonus days. We haven't had had them for a couple years, I think. And if for every $50 you place on an order, that's before shipping and tax, you earn a I forgot to. I thought I muted everything. If you heard that, my phone, I forgot to turn on. Oh, I know. That was my daughter. That's why. I've got her on my favorites, so I still hear her texts, but that's okay. I'll get back with her later. I'm sure it's not important. Okay, go back to bonus days. We've got the $5 coupon that you get for every $50. So say you place a $100 order before shipping and tax, you'll earn two $5 coupons. Then, and every order you place during June, you'll get a $5 coupon for every $50. So say you do 200 during the whole month, then you'll get four $5 coupons, and you can redeem all four of those coupons in August. Actually, you have to redeem them in August. You have August 1st to August 31st. So when you do my classes and do the $50 order to get my card kits and the embellishments, you will automatically get a coupon, and make sure your email is correct in your on your order, because Stampin' Up will email you your coupon code. Don't lose those because they can't regenerate them again. They don't keep them on file. So I've got mine copied on, written down. I've got my email saved to a folder on my email. I've got saved in a couple places so that way I don't lose any of them. Okay, I think that's all for that one. Online exclusives. I'm showing you this because these just came out last week. And these are the products I'm using during my Christmas and July card class at homes this month. So this, like I said, I'm doing the horse and sleigh bundle. You can actually see that in the bottom left corner. And then I will be doing the truck one next week. And I plan on doing that one at the top. I think it's So Very Merry is what it's called, like a stained glass one. That'll be the last one in July. But right now, the only one stamp set that's actually available right now is the horse and sleigh that I'm doing right now. I just saw that the So Very Merry is supposed to be in by the end of the month. So we should be good for me to be able to do that. I've got it, but you'll be able to order it during the ordering period, I think, during the class. Okay, what's this one? Oh, yes, a brand new paper pumpkin. This one is extra special. If you look, it says free distinctive stamp set. That is in addition to the one stamp set you always get. Oh, hi, Melissa. Glad you're here. So if you subscribe by August 10th to Paper Pumpkin, you'll get this one that has these. I'm sure those flowers are shown in that picture are going to be part of the cards, but you'll get the stamp set that always comes with it. Plus, you'll get this little one here that's a distinctive stamp set, and I love distinctive stamp sets. There's so much detail to those stamps. They're a lot of fun. So there's a subscription link below in the video description, and just click on that and you can subscribe. Okay, last but not least, the class. Then we're going to get going to making these cards. Those are the three cards I'm doing. I told you I only use the sleigh once. But if you place a $35 order before shipping and tax, and use my host code, you'll see that. That's a NMSTR67C. Use that host code, and if the order is under $150, that way I'll know that you want to get the card kits. And the reason I do the host code, let me explain that, because some people probably wonder why I always have to have a host code. That helps me to be able to use the Stampin' Rewards I earn to get those free embellishments for you. So it helps me to be able to afford to give you these free gifts. So that's why I do the host code. But if your order is $150 or more, do not use the host code, because I still want you to get the Stampin' Rewards. And then I will still give you the card kits and the embellishments. So the $35 order before shipping and tax, you get the card kits, make 2 each of the cards. And then if you place a $50 order, you're going to get that bonus coupon. You're also going to get the card kits, and you're going to get the Adhesive-Backed Snowflake Assortment. Those are the brand new, and I'm going to show you those here in just a minute. They're brand new from the online exclusive. So you're going to get brand new, spanking new embellishments if you place that $50 order. Okay, I think I'm ready to make some cards. Are you guys ready? Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and go to this screen so that way I can keep my comments up on YouTube. See if I'm missing anybody. Oh, hi, Patty from Delaware. Glad you're here. Okay, I think I talked to everybody else. Everybody on Facebook. I think we're ready to go. Okay, I'm going to be grabbing. Oh, let me show you what you get with your $35. Here are the kits. So it's two of everything. You got 2 envelopes. Anything that is die cut, like this was die cut out of the deckled rectangles dies, I die cut for you, except for the stamped images. Those you'll have to either fussy cut or die cut yourself. Makes it a lot easier. and I do any of the embossing. And this is actually the only thing I embossed. That's with the basic, there you go, the basics embossing folders. So that's what your card kits are, all the die cutting of non-stamped images, and embossing is done for you. So those are the card kits. If you bump it up to a $50 order, you'll get these beauties. I love these. There's 2 different sizes. I'll show you here in a minute with my pack that's already open. I don't want to open this one up because this might be going to somebody. But there are small, medium, and large snowflakes. Oh, hi, Dana. I'm glad you're here. That's one of my local ladies. I know Dana personally. So I've got white, gold, and copper is what's in here. So these are really, really nice. They're all adhesive back too. So that's with all this for a $50 order. Plus you'll get that bonus coupon from Stampin' Up. Okay. Oh, I want to show you the paper. It seems like I might have shown this paper before. But I thought I should show it now since I'm going to be using it today. So of course I'm not using all of them. But these are gorgeous, aren't they? I can just see putting that sleigh in front of any of these and making a really pretty card. So this is this one. Bring it up a little higher so you can see it. Then there's that side. So one side is a pattern. So if you don't want to do a winter scene, you can do the pattern on another card. Then we've got this one. So it's got a little hill. So you could put the sleigh going up the hill or down the hill, whichever one. Actually, I think it has to go up the hill the way the stamp is. That's correct. And there's this side. That's a fun side too. And we've got this one, so it's kind of like a drone looking down on the little feet. And then this side. Oh, hi, Denise. I'm glad you're here. Just looked over at YouTube and saw her. And then we've got this one. I love the cabin there. Isn't that pretty? The little winter scene. You could cut off part of this for a card. You could make a little 6x6 picture and give it to somebody for their for Christmas. Make a nice little keepsake with a lot of these. And there's that one. There's this one. And that side. This one has a cute little deer. Looks like Bambi, doesn't it? We've got this. I love the little snow effect on that too. And then this side. Then we've got this one. Isn't this one pretty? I love this Christmas scene. I can't wait to make a card with this one. Now I had to limit mine. I couldn't use great big pieces. I'm using pretty good sized pieces of it. I want to be able to use it, at least have 2 cards out of one sheet. Because this is a 6x6 pack. So I want to make sure I had plenty for the cards, for the card kits. So I've got this one, and this is the one I'm using today. So this one I knew I could cut because it's pretty symmetrical on here. So this was one of the ones I'm using today. And there's this side. I'm using this one today. And this side. And I'm using this one. I'm not using the fox side though. I'm going to be using this wood side. Isn't that cool? And I'm also using this one, but I'm not using this side. I'm going to be using that side. I love those trees too. So that is a really neat set of paper. I love it. So I want to make sure you saw that, and you get 4 of each in the pack, so you know that. Now I am hoping everything is still working on Facebook. It looks like, okay, good. It started up again. I hate glitches. The internet likes to mess up a lot, doesn't it? I hope it's doing good on the YouTube side. Looks like I'm back going on Facebook. Okay, the one with the print like a Thomas Kincaid print. Isn't that pretty? It really does look like Thomas Kincaid, doesn't it? All the lights and everything. I really like that one a lot. Okay, let's go started with card number 1. So this is a kit, but it's only one. So when you get the kits, you're going to get double. Now, I did do some colorings. I didn't want you to have to sit and watch me do all that. I will go ahead and stamp on this one just to show you how I really don't have to show you what I did. I just inked this up with Early Espresso, and then I stamped it here, and I put it near the edge because see, you can tell how close it is. And this, I made it so they overlap just a little bit. So I brought this one down and stamped it here in the Early Espresso. Oh, hi, Judy. I'm glad you're here. Oh, and Jeanne. Okay, so this one is partially colored. So I'm going to go ahead. So this is a piece. I want to give you the size too. This is the number 5 die. Let me grab these dies. These are the deckled rectangles dies. And I use the number 5. And when I count, I always start with the smallest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this right here was the one I used. And it was die cut out of a 3 by 4.5 inch piece of crumb cake. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put this at the side. I'll use that on another card. Now I'm going to show you how I colored this in. Let me grab my, I thought I could reach that, but I had to get up. Actually, I don't think I want to use this. I think it's better to have a hard surface when you're coloring. So I'm going to be using blends. You could use a not blending brush, a blender pen and your ink pads to color this in also. But I'm going to use my blend. So I'm only using the dark old olive. I'm not doing any blending, but I didn't want this just to be the brown right here. So I'm going along the lines, but going out farther than the lines and kind of filling it in a little bit. I just wanted you to see how I did it. It doesn't take too terribly long, but if you're sitting here watching a video, you'd probably get bored. So I went ahead and started coloring it. I hope it'd been to color this whole thing and then just start coloring another one, but I ran out of time. So this is how it's going to happen. I always showed you how to stamp, so that's pretty self-explanatory. As you can see, I'm just doing a scribble. I am using the brush tip, and I'm using a very light touch because I do not want to mess up. You can use the blend one for sure. That one, it takes more coloring because it's a little lighter. This one the brush tip color is a lot darker. So that's another reason you don't have to go real hard. Just do the light touch because it's a little juicier than that blunt tip. That's what I'm trying to think of. That's a better way to explain it. So I'm going to color all this in. But either one works. There's no right or wrong way. You do the way you feel the best at. Almost done. I'm kind of proud of myself. I thought of things to talk about while I was doing that. Isn't that neat? I just really like how that finished. Those really look more like pine trees now, just not lines. Now I'm going to take, there is a Stampin' Blend pairing. This is bronze and ivory. These come together in a pack. I'm going to use the bronze color. And I'm going to color this in. I don't know if I told you, this was stamped in early espresso. Usually when you do blends, everybody uses the Memento, but all of our classic ink pads are water-based, just like just like the Memento pad. So you can use our classic ones for the blends also. If you can't use StazOn because StazOn is alcohol-based, just like the markers. So these would make the black bleed with a StazOn. So for a black ink pad, only use the Tuxedo Black Memento. And then if you want brown like I did, then you can use early espresso and it works just fine. It doesn't do any smearing. So there we go. Isn't that cool? I really like that. Okay, now I'm going to grab, let's see here. What do I do? Oh, I want to stamp the Joyful. So I do want to bring this in now. This is a photopolymer stamp set. I forgot to show you. My goodness. I saw that colored and just started coloring. I just wanted to color. I want to show you the Horse and Sleigh bundle. Isn't that neat? Now, so I used this tree here, and I'm going to be using the Joyful. And then I just want to show you that all the dies. Look how big that is. You'll be able to tell. In the video, it's probably a little hard to tell. Oh, thanks, Melissa. Glad you like the trees. But this is a little, oh, it's very big. You have to do a horizontal card. So it's about a 5-inch length, or 5 1/4 inch maybe even, of a, no, it's 5 inches, about 5 inches long. So that's a big one. So that is the beautiful bundle. I really like this one a lot. And this one is not in a catalog. I can't remember if I said that. This is part of the online exclusives. And I've got a link to all of the online exclusives down in the video description also. I try to remember a bunch of links so that way you can go and see them for yourself. Okay, now I'm going to grab my Joyful. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. It's a little bitty stamp, so I had a hard time finding it. Now I'm going to do my early espresso. At first, I was going to do it on a separate piece, but then I got to thinking, oh, wait a minute, that will look good just putting it right up here. And that way, I wasn't going to cover up the pretty DSP I'm using. Now, when I say DSP, in case you're new to Stampin' Up, DSP means Designer Series Paper. So that's our patterned paper. Always want to explain that because not everybody knows that. Oh, Judy, I don't know if I said hi to you. I'm glad you're here, too. Okay, so I've got this one. Now, oh, wait a minute. I am not done with that. Oh, let's get the stamping done, though, while I've got this out. This is a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4. This is for the inside of the card. I'm going to grab this tree again. I just want to stamp a partial of it. So I'm going to ink this up. So you're still going to see me actually stamp with this. This is the exact same tree as I did with this. I'm just going to have it so it kind of is just a partial of the tree. Hold that down for a few seconds. But this time I'm not going to color it in, okay? But look at how different that looks. That coloring is just really, I really like that. I wasn't sure if I was going to use blends with that, and I really like the way it looked. Okay, now I'm going to grab my blending brush and crumb cake. I'm going to pick some up here. And I didn't want this to just be stamped in the early espresso. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go off a little bit, use the blending brush down here on the grid paper first, and then go up. Pick some more up. The reason I go off is because when I put it down first, it's almost like a little blob. That way I get the blob out of the way, and it's smoother once I put it on the cardstock. Just want to make this a little bit darker, just kind of shades it. I'm not going to do the whole piece. I'm just going to do around the tree because that kind of highlights the tree a little bit. See, isn't that cool? I like that. And I'm going to go ahead while I've got this out. I wanted this to be a little darker too. I'm going for that rustic look. So I'm going to go actually do the whole thing lightly, just a little bit. But on here on the edges, I want to go darker. So I'm kind of pushing harder too, because I kind of liked this deckled part looking a little burnt looking. So I guess you could call this faux soot. There used to be a soot technique, I think is what it was called. I don't think I ever did that one. I was always afraid I was going to burn my paper. But this kind of gives you the look without having to make the smoke detector go off. Go ahead and do this here. Let's see. Oh, this is crumb cake. I don't know if I told you that. Yeah, the color of the cardstock is crumb cake, Becky. I almost didn't see your comment. When I stand up, I can't see my tablet as well. But so, yeah, you definitely don't have to just stamp on our basic white and very vanilla. You can do it on crumb cake too. So there we go. So this is going to be a very rustic Christmas card. And this could be, we could take the joyful off and put a happy birthday on there. And this would be a really good masculine birthday card too. So I'm all done, I do believe, with all the stamping. So let's go ahead and put this together. This is a piece of early espresso. It's 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to line those corners up. It's a little hard to see with the dark cardstock. Let's see. I don't think I got it lined up very good. There we go. Okay, now I've got another piece of crumb cake, 4 by 5.25. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to put the DSP on here. It's going to cover it up completely, but I wanted to have some cardstock behind it so I could put this ribbon around it. Okay, so that's why I'm using this base. So I'm going to grab my seal. Oops, get that going. And then what I'm going to do, I want to make sure I put it right along the outer edge here, okay? I don't care about where it's going to go right in the middle because we're going to be covering that up with the ribbon. So if it overlaps or if there's a little gap, it doesn't matter. The ribbon's going to take care of that. Now we're going to put the pretty tree one on the other side. Cover this up. And once again, I want to make sure I put it on the outer part. I'm not going to worry about lining up the DSP against each other. Let's make sure I've got the edges of the crumb cake. There we go. There's actually a little bit, you can barely see it, just a little bit of crumb cake, and I'm okay with that because I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to grab my silicone mat here. Oh, thanks, Jan. I'm glad you like the trees. And I think sometimes with this ribbon, now they're real close to the same. You can kind of look at them and see if you like one side that's better than the other. And I'm just looking at the stitching because there is some stitching. This is from the Real Red and Burlap Ribbon Combo Pack. It's in the annual catalog. So this one is in the annual catalog. I was saying everything I use is from the online exclusives. But the ribbon is from the annual catalog. Well, of course, the inks and the blends are from the annual catalog too. There we go. So now you see why I didn't bother making sure the edges, this middle part's lined up because it's getting covered up. But isn't that pretty? Now I'm going to put this on here. I love that wood. That is such a rich looking wood design on that. And now the ribbon's on there. Now I can put this on my card base. Well, I'm real close to the end of this one. I made sure I had another one just in case I run out. Now you could put the wood on the right side if you wanted to. I just liked it this way. You can do it every way you want to if you make this card. Oh, thanks, Judy. I'm glad you're liking it. Okay. And there's just, for those of you that are new to lives, there is a delay. I'm probably 30 seconds ahead of you sometimes. Sometimes it's up to that. It's crazy. So that's why when you put something down, I comment later. Sometimes I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I can usually guess. Okay, so we've got that on there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the inside. I'm all done with that. That way we've got the actual card base all done. Oh, open that up. There we go. And this is a piece of early espresso that's 2 3/4 by 4 1/8. I could have done one of the other decal rectangles, but it was going to make the border a lot wider with the early espresso, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to show more of this paper. So I just made it a little bit bigger. And now I've just got a nice little brown border around it. I did try it without it, and I thought it looked better with the brown. So this is going to go on here with dimensionals. Now you can use regular white dimensionals. I did put black on the supply list, but white will, like I said, will definitely work. But since we've got these black ones with all this dark cardstock, that's why I'm going to use the black. Okay. Now grab there we go. Take your pick tool. I like to use this because I like to collect all those paper backings right on here and just throw them away. It makes it a little easier throwing them away. Now I'm going to put this right in the center. There we go. And now you could stop there, but we've got to use those snowflakes. So I'm going to show you. I told you I was going to show you what they look like better. Oops. Here are the medium-sized ones and the small ones. So we've got the white. Actually, I wonder if you can see it better this way. Oop, that really doesn't show. We'll do it. Oh, here, maybe this will work. Oh, much better. There we go. So here are the whites, the golds, and the coppers. So there's a small and medium, and then there's a sheet. Ow, with the large ones. I just hurt my fingernail. There we go. So we've got the white, gold, and copper. So aren't those gorgeous? I love how shiny they are. So I'm going to use, on all cards, I'm using one each size. I'm going to be using all of the colors too. So this one, I decided to use the gold. So I'm going to grab, actually, I think it's a little easier because I was starting to pick them up. A lot of times I will use this putty thing, but these are kind of frail and I don't want to push it and tear one of these up. So it's actually easier to use the pointer, the paper piercer, to pick it up. So that way you can get that glue dot. I was using my hands picking it up, and the glue dots kept coming off. So it's a lot easier to use this. I think I missed it. Oh, hi, Kasia. Is that how you say it? From Poland. Oh, I think you're the first one I've had from Poland. I'm really glad you're here. Okay, so I've got this right here. And then I've got get my medium and small. And I'm going to grab the small one. I'm just making sure I get that glue dot up with that paper piercer. And I thought I'd put this one near the joyful. And then I'll grab a medium-sized one. And I'm going to put this one down here. There we go. Now it's all done. So you can see the little sparkle on there. It just gives a little bit of sparkle. You got to have some sparkle on some Christmas cards. Oh, I've got somebody from the Philippines too. My goodness. Is it Jenabel? I'm probably not saying your names right, but I'm glad you guys are here. So there we go. It is exciting how the internet brings the world together. Okay, so we've got this one. Oh, you're welcome, Chris. I tried it. When I figure things out, I want to tell you guys so you don't make the mistakes I did. And I'm glad you think they're gorgeous. Thank you so much. But yeah, I was just taking them off my hands. I thought, oh, wait a minute, that glue dot's still on there. So it definitely works better using the piercer on that one. Okay, so I'll put these to the side. We're done with card number 1. Now we got to do the sleigh. Even though I didn't use the sleigh on all of them, of course I had to. I'm going to put that one over here. That kind of messed me up last time. But that sleigh is done on a basic white piece. This one is a 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to put that over here. So I don't need it since I already stamped it. And these, oh, let me show you the dies again. I love it when we have standalone dies. Now, we have a silver foil specialty paper pack. And I always wondered what these colors were. I don't know why I never looked them up before. You can look at this and say, boy, that really doesn't look like silver. But this is called mirrored charcoal. Mirrored charcoal. So it's got a charcoal look. There's another one that's this color, but it's a matte color. And that one is matte charcoal. And then the other one is just brushed silver. But I thought this mirrored charcoal looked really good on the sleigh. So I'm going to be able to have some shiny little pieces on my sleigh. So I'll put those over here to the side. So that was done with this die and this one right here. Just these two right here. I wanted to show you which dies I used. And of course, use this great big one to die cut. Well, I will be using them. Let me go ahead and get that off because I am going to have to die cut that since it's stamped. Get that envelope out of the way. Okay, you know what? Let's see. Oh, let's grab this. I'm going to get my stamping done again. Bring this back in. It's looking kind of dirty, but I think it's going to work for the rest of the class. This is a piece of basic white that is 3 by 3/4. This is my greeting. I'm going to be using Sending Warmth Your Way because this is definitely going to be a winter scene. And some of you might not mind looking at that right now because you're probably really hot. The temperatures are so hot around here. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this to the left side. I don't want to put it in the center, and you'll understand why here in just a minute. So that was with Misty Moonlight. I can't remember if I said that. So we've got that there. And then I'm going to take my paper snips, which are scissors. That's the name for our scissors. And I'm just going to cut this at an angle like this because I just wanted to have a nice little looking banner type thing. So that's why I did it on the left side. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. I'm glad you're liking it. And Judy. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. I think you were saying very pretty for the last card, so thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, so I'm going to put that over here to the side. Let's see. This I'm going to stamp. Well, actually, let's do this one first. This is a piece of boho blue, 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And I am grabbing this tree right here. And I'm going to use the boho blue. And I'm going to stamp it all the way. Actually, it's kind of easier to do it this way. All the way to the edge. I want to make sure the bottom of it is kind of hanging off a little bit because I don't want an empty space here at the bottom. But the edge of the tree is going right along the edge of the cardstock. So there we go. So that's the same color ink, boho blue, as the cardstock. I just want this kind of like a background type thing. And I'm going to do it that way on this side. Put it right up against the edge. There we go. Now I'm going to do something a little different than what I did on my original because I thought of this later. This is like a little snowflake. This was the only stamp I hadn't used on the card. So I thought, oh, I got to use it. So I'm going to kind of put a little snow over here. Kind of only need to do it along the edges because I'm going to be covering that middle up completely. Actually, I'm going to stamp it, I think, without inking up a couple times. That way I have some that are a little lighter. And I think I'm going to put a little bit, I'm going to do a stamped off one right here. There we go. It's very, very faint. You probably can't even see it, but I can see it here in person. Okay. So I've got that done. Now I want to grab this piece of Misty Moonlight. This is 3 1/4 by 4 inches. And this is a piece of the One Horse Open Sleigh DSP. It's 3 by 4. I can't remember if I told you. These two pieces were 2 inches by 5 1/4. I'm afraid I forgot to tell you that. So that's what those sizes are. So this one is the 3 by 4. I'll show you how I cut it because these are 6 inches. Let me find that one. So I've got them all here. I think it's this one. Yeah. So what I did, I cut it at the 4 inches here. So that way I've just got the sky part left over for something else, or I could use this wood side on it for something else. So I just cut it right along there and then did the 3-inch cut. Okay. So this is going to go right along. Oh, that's my trash. I'll put that away. Right along the center of that Misty Moonlight, which is 3 1/4 by 4. Put this right here. I'm going to make sure I line up that bottom edge of the cardstock with the bottom edge of the DSP. Okay. Put that down. And now I'm going to bring this piece in. And this is going to go right along the center. I'm actually kind of putting this card together, and then we'll work on that sleigh. So I'm lining up the bottom edges, trying to get this in the middle. It's going to cover up the, well, it doesn't really cover the trees at all. It goes right on there. Okay, now it looks like I might have made it a little too long. That's why I put this on before I put it on the card base. That way I can turn this over, grab my scissors. I just put the scissors right up against the boho blue, that's the lighter blue, cardstock. And I can just cut that off, and it's nice and straight. Couldn't do that straight if it wasn't up against the cardstock. So there we go. Oh, I got a little blue on there, but that's going to be fine. I'm not going to worry about it. So I've got that there. I can put a snowflake on that, cover it up. So this is a piece of Misty Moonlight. It's 5.5 by 8.5. We'll fold this in half. Get that on it. There we go. That's ready to go. We'll go ahead and put this on the card base. So I'm not going to put any ribbon on this one. Actually, the only card I put ribbon on was that first one. But isn't that a neat scene? You could actually just put a greeting on there and be done with your card. But we're going to put that sleigh on there. I love the blues too, Judy. Aren't they pretty? I love the boho blue and Misty Moonlight together. They're gorgeous. So, okay, I've already got that. Let's grab. Okay, it is time. What did I do the inside? Oh, let's go ahead and do the inside quick. While I'm thinking of it, whenever I do a landscape card like this, I almost always stamp like this for the inside of the card, forgetting what kind of card I'm doing. So while I'm thinking of it, we're going to do it this way. I'm going to grab this stamp again, and I'm going to grab this little one here. This kind of does a little ground line, little line, so it looks like the tree is on some little snow hills maybe. So I'm using boho blue. And I'm going to kind of do it at an, you know what, let me grab this. I almost forgot my paper because I'm going to be stamping off, and I don't want to get ink on this thing. You can wash it off, but it stays wet longer, so then you end up getting blue on this, and I don't want to do that. Oop, I got a little blue on that, so let's turn that around. I think I've got too much ink on my fingers. So I'm going to kind of make it look like a hill. Okay, so it's kind of like that. And then I'll bring this one in with the boho blue. And just stamp it here at the side. There we go. So it looks like we've got a little tree on a hill. So that's all I did on the inside. You don't have to do much on the inside to make it coordinate with the outside. And then I'll put this, oops, inside before I lose it. There we go. And now I'm going to bring this in and do some coloring. Now this one, I already did the sleigh. I was hoping to get it all done. That's why I did the whole sleigh, but I can explain to you how I did it real easy. This is Misty Moonlight. So I did the dark Misty Moonlight on this top strip right here. And then I went back and did a second layer because I wanted to make it a little darker. And then the bottom part was just all colored in with one layer of the light Misty Moonlight. So I'm not doing any blending, so that's real easy. The blends, you don't have to use them to blend. If you want just a darker shade on another section, you can do it that way, and that's how I'm doing this. Now the horse's mane, let me grab these. I'm using crumb cake, and I use the dark crumb cake to color in his mane, and there's one little spot right here left of his mane. Since I'm using this darker one, I'm going to make his hoofs be a little darker too. So I'll go ahead and color those in. You could use black if you wanted to, but I liked having him just be a nice light colored horse. And the other, I went ahead, I thought I'd just do his harness this way too. I almost did the bronze blend. That's what I used for the trunk of the trees on the first card. Like I said, I just like the light colors with the blues and the card base. That's why I wanted to stay with the light colors. So there, we've got that all done. And then the rest of the horse, oops, I got ready to pick up the wrong one. This is, make sure I'm doing the right ones. Some of these are real close to the same color, so I want to make sure I'm using the right one. So this is the light crumb cake. And then I'll just color him in. Now, like I said, I'm not blending with this one, but I'm going to do a little bit of blending with just one blend. Now, this is something that you can't do with our regular Stampin' Right markers. I can add some more to make it darker. And another thing I like about our blends, whenever you use our Stampin' Right markers, I still love our Stampin' Right markers because there are some images this look looks really good. But when you've got something you want to look a little fancier, you don't see the brush strokes that you get with our Stampin' Right markers. It just blends right in and looks really nice. Looks like I've painted it. So right now I'm just going to go over everything with the light crumb cake. Hopefully this won't take too long. And then I'm going to show you a little trick because you can still get two shades, really light shades, with the light, with one Stampin' Right marker. So I'm going to do one layer on the whole thing, just about done. Okay, now places that I think needs to have a little dark, they've got little lines here. Stampin' Up! Put lines on there for us. So I'm going to go over that again with my light. I don't know if you can see that, but that kind of darkened that up a little bit. And these little spots here, I'm going to kind of darken those up a little bit. Down here, close to his hoof. The reason I'm not doing the dark crumb cake to put the shading in is because I used so much on the others. I just want my shades to be lighter than the main. And then do his ears. Almost forgot to do his ears. Oh, and I've got one more little thing of mane right here I just missed. So do the dark crumb cake there. So now the horse is done. Now I just need to do the people. Oh, thanks, Judy. I'm glad you like that I do the insides. I didn't used to, but I really like doing them now. Okay, now I'm going to bring in Boho Blue and Lost Lagoon. So all these colors I'm using are colors that are in the paper. And I don't think Lost Lagoon is in this one, but it still looks good. Lost Lagoon is one of the other designs. So I'm going to have my guy. I guess that's a guy. It's really hard to tell. But this one, I think it's a woman because it has a little hand muff. This guy's got the gloves on. So I'm going to use my dark Boho Blue. And I'm going to have the collar of his coat be the dark Boho Blue. And the rim of his hat, I'm going to have them all match. And then I thought I'd make his gloves be the dark Boho Blue. Okay. Now I'll grab my light Boho Blue and color in the rest of the guy. And I want to make sure I don't get anything on that little white muff. It looks like, it's kind of hard to tell it is a muff, but when you start coloring it, then you realize that's what it is. So make sure you don't get anything on that. You could always use the color lifter if you need to. And I'm going to color in the rest of his hat. I'm going to leave the little snowball on the tip white. And I think I'm going to bring in my dark Boho Blue again because those two shades are real close together. So I want to get my dark a little darker. There we go there. And get his glove a little darker. There we go. So he's all done. Now I'm going to do the Lost Lagoon. I'm going to do just a little bit, this little part here with the dark, some lines here dark. And then I think I'm going to have the collar of her coat be dark Lost Lagoon. Okay. And then the rest of her is going to be the light. I was afraid I did the wrong one there for a second. So here's the light for the rest of her. It doesn't take long to color these in, especially when you're not really blending much. Okay. And there's one little, oh, no, I've left that alone. That's right, that is part of her muff. Oh, I want to have her hat be light too. I almost forgot her hat. There we go. So that is all done coloring. I'll put it a little closer so you can see it. Oh, thanks, Becky. I'm glad you're liking the card. It's hard to tell what's what in the sleigh. It is a little hard to tell. It really is. But once you start coloring, then you kind of notice it better. When you color one section, like, oh, that's what that is. So it's a little easier once you get going. So there we go. So let me put it up a little closer. That way you can see it a little better. Okay, so that's all done being colored. I'm going to bring in my little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I have two pieces of tape on here. Let me grab I lost it. Let me grab another one. These tapes like to fall off. I'd like to try to be ready, but sometimes I'm not. Okay, now I'm going to grab the base plate and a cutting plate. Move this up so you can see it better. Then we'll just put this right on here. I'm so glad I don't have to fussy cut this out. You definitely could, but it's a lot easier with the dies. So I'm kind of looking at the reins, making sure they're right along the edges of that opening. And same with the sleigh rails, or I'm not sure that's what they're called. Blades, there we go, the sleigh blades. I think that's what they're called. That's all lined up. So I just got 2 pieces of Post-it tape on there. Post-it tape comes off really easy and doesn't tear up your cardstock, is why I use it. But you could also use Post-it notes if you've got those. Put this through. There we go. Take the tape off. You can see it's coming off pretty easy. Once I get a hold of it, that is. And voila. And I love how it even cuts out little holes under the sleigh right there. And they come out really easy. So that is all ready to go. But I'm going to add a few things on here before we put it on the card. So let me get this out of the way. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat again. Put this up here. And then I'm going to grab, where did it go? Oh, there they are. Here are the 2 little blade things I showed you a minute ago. These were made with that silver foil. I used the mirrored charcoal one. I'm going to grab my multi-purpose glue. And I'm just going to put little dots in a few places. And after I do that dot, I kind of brush it a little bit with a tip so it's not the little glob, because we don't want that glue seeping through the little holes. You don't have to have it completely covered. I'm just going to put a little bit here along the bottom, maybe a little bit there on that tip. Turn this over. And when I put this on this today, I was happy. All the black lines right here on the blade of the sleigh right here, those get covered up by this. So just line them up. Don't really pay attention to the holes. You line it up over that stamped blade. Fits perfectly. And now I've got it nice and shiny. See if I can. Sometimes it's really, oh, there you can see it a little bit there. So now it's shiny. And this one, sometimes before you put the glue on it, see which way it goes on. Now that is not lining up. So it's got to be this way. So you just turn it around. There's a 50-50 chance of getting it right. The first time I did it, it was wrong. So there we go. So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to put a little bit here on the little circle things. And just a little bit here. Now, if you ever do too much glue and you've got your silicone mat underneath it, here, I'm going to just put a little too much right here. Turn it over and just kind of tap it on there, and the glue will go on here. Once it dries, you can peel it right off. I'll bring this down because you don't want to have too much glue on here and have it glop everywhere. So I'm going to start with this, the end on the right, and then it just curls right along the top of the sleigh. And tap it down and put some pressure on it. There we go. So now I've got some neat little silver things on my sleigh. Isn't that neat? There we go. You can see that a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to put this on my card with dimensionals. And this time I'm going to go ahead and use my white ones. Oops, hold on a minute. Something happened. There we go. On my computer for some reason. Okay. I'm going to put dimensional here. Let's see, the metallic, it really does add to it, doesn't it, Melissa? I have got to do something different with my Facebook. There is such a glare, I can barely see. I have to keep kneeling down so I can see your guys' comments. Okay, I'm going to put this here. And I think I've got too many fingerprints on it, too. That probably isn't helping any. I'll put this here. It really does make that foil does make it pop, doesn't it, Chris? I totally agree. Okay, now I'm going to grab, oh, there it is. I take your pick tool. And get all of these off. I'm just scooping them off. I don't just do it. Sometimes when you get too many, it doesn't want to come off. That last one's not going to come off. Because I think the point gets covered up too much. There we go. And then I'm going to put this right along the bottom. I'm just going to lay it down first before I push it down. Make sure, oops, I keep moving the card underneath. I want to make sure I've got it in the center. Oh, that looks good. Okay, so now I'll push it down. So there is our pretty sleigh. But we do have a greeting. And I'm going to put this one on with dimensionals too. So turn this over. Put one on each end. And I think I'm going to put one in the middle too. That's a little bit too much of a gap. Take these off. And then I'm going to put it on like so. I'm going to put it above the trees that are on that DSP. That way we don't cover any of those up. So I've got that on there. Now we need to put those snowflakes on. And this time I'm going to use the white ones. You probably guessed that with all the light colors. Let's grab one of the big ones. Once again, I'm going to use one each size. I'm going to put a big one. You know what? We're going to cover up that little blemish there. There, now you can't even tell it was there. Then I'm going to grab a little one. So I get a hold of that. There we go. And I'm going to put it here on the bottom corner of my greeting. I thought that needed a little something. And then I'm going to grab a medium-sized one. And I'm going to put it down. I'm going to have to do it a little different than I did originally. Let's put it over here. I like making it look like a triangle. You know what? Since I had to cover that up, I'm going to grab another small one and put one here. There we go. Oops. There were two on that one. Cool. I got a bonus. There we go. Make sure I don't lose that one. You know, I'm going to put this one because there's no glue dot on this one. I can put a glue dot on it later. I'll put it in my little dish. Don't mind getting a little bonus snowflake. I like the white ones a lot. So there we go. There is card number 2. I'm going to show you, since the trees are a little different, this one, the top one's the one on the left is my original. So the trees are a little bigger on that end and this side isn't. If you get the card kits, I'll make sure you get both sides. So, these both came off of the same sheet of paper. Okay. Oh, thanks, Chris. I'm glad you like it. And Ina, I think that's how you say it. I like it. I'm glad you like it too. And Linda, I'm looking at everybody's. Yep, I think I got everybody. Thank you so much, guys. Glad you like it. Okay, now I'm going to put these to the side. We have one more card. Oh, there we go. And once again, I tried to use different colors. So this one is really a light colored one. We had the browns, the blues, and this still has blues. Ooh, I got a lot of ink on that one. But this one is the new color Lemon Lolly, and that's one of the colors that's in the paper. And it's actually in this designer series paper. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the sun. It's like a sunrise or a sunset. It could be whichever one you want. I love this paper. It is so pretty. And it's got little clips of coral in it. So that was why I was able to use those copper ones, because it looks really good having those little leaves on there. It goes together really nicely. Okay, now this was a piece of basic white that is 5 by 1 3/4. I went ahead and die cut the snow out ahead of time, and that's the way it's going to be in your kit if you get the kits. So there are the 2 snow, and those are done with these 2 dies. And then the tree, you can probably just figure this out, is this die right here. And then I am going to be using the bunny because we're going to be putting the bunny on this one. So the only dies I didn't use were these 2 because I just stamped those trees. I didn't want to die cut them out. So this actually will die cut that big tree from the first card if you want to do that. And this one does that little tree that I stamped on the blue one, the second one. Okay. So let's get all of this together. This one here, this end right here is going to be what I stamped my little bunny on. So let's go ahead and get that done. He's right here. I'm going to stamp. Oh, and by the way, I don't think I told you. That's the way I put this on the big block when I stamped it. And I used the tuxedo black memento pad to stamp this in. I forgot to tell you that because I already had it stamped. So this one, I'm using the memento, and I'm doing a little twisting thing because that seems to ink it up a lot better. Stamp that on here. So now we've got our cute little bunny. I'm going to grab crumb cake. Make sure I've got crumb cake. Yep, I do. I'm going to take the dark one and just color a couple little places, maybe that little leg, because that's kind of back behind him. There's really not a lot of shading on this bunny, so I think that's probably good enough. Maybe a little bit on this back paw right there. And then I'm going to do the rest of it with the light crumb cake, going over where I want it to blend, going over the dark, I mean, so I can blend it. And then I can always add a little more dark if it blends too much. When all else fails, all you have to do is just add another layer. I want to make him a little darker, so I'm going over it again. And now I did blend too much of the dark away, so now I'm going to add a little bit more there. There we go. That looks good. So I didn't have to color ahead of time because he's pretty easy to cut out. So I'll put him to the side. This is a piece of basic white that was 3.5 by 1. And I'll punch this out for you, so this is the way it'll be in your kit. But I used our Banner's Pick-a-Punch. So this was the one I used. So it just goes in. This goes up to 1 inch. So this goes in as far as it can go. Let me go ahead and open it up. And then after I get it in there, I do turn it over to make sure that it's centered right there. I'm not going to punch because I don't want to make it any shorter. But that's how you do it to make sure it's centered. Actually, I could just do it here and show you. See if I can get a hold of it. It kind of goes down at an angle, and then when you get it down in there, then you can turn it over. I'm not going to punch it because I don't want this end punched. But that way I know it's straight, and then I punch it. Because sometimes when you put it in there, if you don't turn it over, it might be in cockeyed, and then it's not going to look right. Oh, good, Michelle. I'm glad you got the embellishments. Yeah, I like to put a little card in there, too. I'm glad you liked them. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I'm glad you liked the card. Okay. So now I've got this. I want to make sure the banner is here on the right. And what she's talking about, she won the door prize a week or two ago. So when I do a door prize, I put a little card in with it, too, so you don't get just the embellishment. Okay, so now I'm going to grab, where'd that stamp go? I'm doing Wishing You Season of Cheer. There it is. I'm finally using this one. I wanted to use all the greetings, and I actually got to. I'm going to be using, oh, no, I don't want Misty Moonlight. I want Boho Blue, because that's what the card base is. And this will get stamped right here. I'm going to center it. After the banner has been, end has been punched, then you center it. So I've already got that punched for you, like I said, if you get the card kits. But if you're making these with the supplies you have, I would pinch it out first and then do it. That way you have an idea where you want to put your words. Because if you put them too far to the right, you might end up punching your words. So it is better to punch and then stamp. Oh, thanks, Chris, on the last card. I'm glad you like the little snowflakes on there. The white ones look really good with that one. Okay, looking at my card. You'd think I would remember everything I did since I just made them today, but I've got one more thing to stamp. This is a 4 by 5.25 inch piece of basic white again. I'm going to grab my little bunny, stamp him with a memento. I could stamp him in blue or something like that, but since he is so easy to cut, and see, there is a little piece of ground right here, so I want to make it kind of straight. I guess you can make it look like a hill, though, too. But there he's stamped. I'm going to hurry up and color him. A lot of times I don't color the inside. Like I said, he is so easy to color in. I'll just do it real quick. Put a little dark there. And if you don't want to mess with the dark, you definitely don't have to because there's not much dark. And then I'll color him in with my light crumb cake. But most bunnies here in Indiana are this color, so the crumb cake worked out really good. Go over that to blend it a little bit. There we go. He's all done. So I'll go ahead and turn this over. Oh, wait a minute. First, I'm going to do my card base. This is a piece of boho blue, 5.5 by 8.5. Get those corners lined up. There we go. And now I'm going to grab this piece. Oh, I mean, let's put the inside in because I know me. I don't know about you, but when I get to work and I start covering things up and then I can't find them, I waste more time looking for things. Projects take a lot longer than they should because I'm always looking for things. Just because I covered them up. Okay. Oh, hi, Peggy. Oh, is this your first time? Yeah, I don't think I don't recognize your last name. I'm glad you're here. Oh, good. I'm glad you saw some of my other videos too. I'm glad you're enjoying them. I'm trying to do more than just my live. This week, I've actually got 3 other videos besides my live. I've been really busy. That's why these cards didn't get done till today, because I had so many other things I had to get done. I had a blog hop this morning and my club cards. Now, this is a piece of Lemon Lolly. See if I can get it angled so you can see it. That's one of the basics 3D embossing folders. If you haven't seen all of those folders, my Zany Zoo class from last week, I've got a link to that in the video description, shows every single one of them, all 3 of them, because I actually used all 3 of them in the class. So before I put that on, though, I'm going to grab this. This is a 3 by 5¼ inch piece. And when I cut it, I cut the bottom off. So this is actually what the top of the cardstock is. So the 3/4 inches I took off the bottom because I didn't want that much. Let's see if I can. It's actually easier just to show you. I forgot I had it over here. So here you go. This will give you an idea. So this part down here was what I cut off all the way across and then just did the 3. So then I had my 2 pieces for my 2 cards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Since this is going to go right along the edge, I like having a little bit of cardstock underneath the DSP just to give it more of a finished look, I think. But I didn't want to waste all of this paper, especially when I'm not going to have anything on this side. So this is a piece of boho blue. It's a 1/2 inch by 5¼ so it's the same length as this. This is my left side, so I'm going to keep my finger over here so I remember where I want to put my adhesive. I'm just going to put it all the way along here. It's actually easier if I grab my silicone mat. So all of the adhesive is here. If you end up putting it on the wrong side, don't worry. Just go ahead and put it over here because this is going to get attached to the card anyway. So you're going to be putting this adhesive on there anyway. I'm going to use my silicone mat. Let me get away from there we go. Now you can see better. And then I'm going to line the bottom up here. I'm going to have a little bit showing from the front. So now I haven't wasted all of that paper. So now I've got a nice little border. I just think that looks a little better having that little blue border on there. So that saves you a lot of cardstock. Go ahead and put this on. Make sure I get adhesive on that cardstock. And then I'm going to put this all the way to the left side. Oh, you know what? I think it's easier to do it this way. There we go. So I've got that on there. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on the card base. And this will just go right here in the center. Oh, yeah, that's what you and Michelle and Melissa, I get you two mixed up all the time because you both have the last name of Mitchell. You guys keep throwing me, and I'm glad you come. I'm teasing you. Always make sure when I draw a name, like making sure it's, okay, is it Melissa or Michelle? Okay, so I've got that there. Now I'm going to bring in my little tree that I die cut. I think I always showed you which die it was. This one was done out of a piece of Misty Moonlight that was 1 3/4 by 3. Okay, so once again, I'm going to take this. Oh, wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to put the snow down first. Now, the trick to do the snow, this one is taller than this one. So this one is just going to go right on top. You just line up the bottom edges, and that gives you a perfect little snow hills. Isn't that neat? Now, if you want to make it a little bigger, you can bring this up a little bit. Well, no, actually you can't, because then you start seeing little edges. See, there's a little gap right there. So just line those 2 up when you put these together. So what I'm going to do, I want to look at my card here. Okay. This right side here, I'm going to be sticking my tree right here. So this little dip right here, I don't want to have any adhesive at that dip. So I'm just going to put some here on the end, kind of bring this over, skip my little valley there, and then put adhesive on the rest of it. And this is going to go right along the bottom edge of this DSP. The 3 inches works out real close to perfect. Just put that right along the edge like so. Now I can put glue on this. This is the back. When you you ever die cut, you can tell the back side is usually a little rougher than the front. So I'm going to grab my glue again, put it in the big areas. The real thin ones I'm not going to worry about. There we go. I usually store my glue upside down, but I laid it down, so now it's not wanting to come out as well. There we go. Now it's coming. It doesn't take much glue at all, so I'm making sure I've got it on the trunk. And then there are a couple bigger spots here. I'm not worrying about going all the way to the tip. I just want just enough glue to keep it down. And it helps not to have it all the way to the tip, because now I can pick this up without getting glue on my fingers. And bring this in. I'm going to lift this up just a little bit because I don't have any. Well, let's see if I can get hold of it. Used my wrong hand. Lift this up a little bit, and there's no adhesive on that little valley there. So I just put that at the very bottom underneath the snow. Now hold this down. There we go. And now we've got our little tree. And I need to die cut my little bunny, don't I? Let's finish the snow. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put dimensionals on this. And the two big hills right here, those are the only two places I'm going to put dimensionals. And you know what? That's actually too big. So what I'm going to do, I had forgotten that's what I did in my original. I always use my borders up. So while it's still on the backing, it's a lot easier to cut them this way. So cut them before you take them off. Now I've got two little half ones here. Oops. I'm going to put one right here. And I'm going to have the little hill, the little point, be right into the top of that hill. So the flat side is here on the bottom. Okay. And that is all I need for that. Get the paper backings off of here. And then I will put this on. Oh, I got a little glue right there. All gone. Line the bottom edge of both hills. So I'm going to have to, you're probably not going to be able to see. I'll get my hands out of the way once I get it laid down. It's a little hard to do it without my hands in the way. Okay, now that I've got it straight, now I'm going to push it down, and then I'll bring it up closer so you can kind of see. A little hard. There, you can see it better that way. And I love the little lines that are embossed on that. That really gives it a neat look, too. They're just not flat looking. Okay, now, done with my glue. Get this out of the way. Bring in my little embossing machine again, or die cutting embossing machine. Grab my little bunny, get his little die, and it even cuts out the little lines for the ground with the die. Because some of our dies we've had, I think not singing in the rain, but the playing in the rain, I think is what it was called. They had little lines under their bodies on the paper, but those will always end up getting cut off. This one cuts the little ground underneath his feet. Run this through. Okay. Tape off. And these two pieces of tape are still in good shape, so I'm going to use those again on other projects. Put that over to the side. And there is my little bunny. Isn't he cute? Okay, now I decided, I did just put him on with seal. I couldn't remember. Had to look at my original. That's right. The reason I did the seal is because I'm going to put him, he's going to be in between these two snow hills. I'm going to kind of tuck that little ground part. So actually, I'm covering up the ground part, but that's okay. Kind of moving it over. There we go. And there is my little bunny. Isn't he adorable? Okay, now there's not anything up here. So what we need to get our little stamping chair on there. That's going to finish it off perfectly. This I'm going to put on with dimensionals. Now, since this one's a little wider, I'm not just going to make a straight line. I'm going to put two up here and then one here in the center on the opposite side. That'll keep it from going back and forth. Or keep it nice and stable. And then I'm going to line up the straight edge of the banner with the straight the straight edge of the lemon lolly. I'll put this down. I think that's where, yep, that's where I want it. But see, putting that on there gets it a little more proportionate, doesn't it? And I need to move over. I keep getting into my watermark. There we go. But that just makes it, fills it in just right. And there's the inside. But don't worry, we're putting snowflakes on there. We've used all the colors except the gold ones. No, copper ones. We used the gold ones. That's right. Copper ones are next. So I'm going to grab a big copper one. That's right, because I did the copper with this one because of some of the Cajun Craze leaves on there. I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to make sure I don't cover up the R, though. I'm putting it real close to it, though. Then I'm going to grab a medium-sized copper one. And I'm going to put it over here. Get it on the banner again. Make sure I don't cover up my S. And then I'm going to grab a small one. And I'm going to put it about right here. There we go. So those are all the cards, all done with the class. Let me bring in the other cards quick. Okay, get the snowflakes. And I'll put those up here just so you can still look at those. They are so pretty. But there is that. I'm going to look and see what comments I've missed. Oh, hi, Debbie. I'm glad you got to come on. Oh, and thanks for sharing, too. And Becky, I think I saw you shared earlier, too. So thanks for doing that. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Chris is saying, I wouldn't have thought that yellow and blue could make a winter scene. Neither did I. I have to admit the same thing. Stampin' Up! Really thinks out of the box on their color combos. I would have never thought of that either. I am going to remember it, though. Usually when I make snow-looking cards for Christmas, I'll use maybe some purples and some blues and maybe a real light green. I've done that before. But I have never done yellow. I am with you there. Oh, thanks, Judy. I'm glad you liked them. Oh, thanks, Louise and Julie. And watching from Utah, I'm glad you're here. I've had a really good turnout tonight. I'm really glad you're here. The more people, it's so much more fun. I love commenting and interacting with you guys. It's a lot of fun. So don't forget, if you use that host code you see in the bottom left corner, my watermark in the screen. You can also get it by clicking on the card class or the current. Let's see, what did I name that? Oh, my current host code offer. Because every once in a while, if I don't do a live, I'll just do embellishments as my gift for orders. So that's why I name it that way. So my current host code offer link down below, click on that and that'll give you the host code. And if you're watching, if you do that after, oh, how do you share, Michelle? There should be a share button. Oh, you know what? I'm not seeing it here on my tablet. What you can do once the video's over, I do know there's a, if you go to my Create with Christy page, oh, you found it, good. Because I am not seeing it on my tablet. I'm sure it's there somewhere. I can find it on my phone and I can find it on my laptop, but for some reason I'm not seeing it here on my tablet. Good. Thanks for sharing, Michelle. Okay. Oh, I've got another Michelle on Facebook. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like the cards. Thanks, Linda. I'm glad you like my first Christmas in July cards. And I'll be back again next week, hopefully with that truck set. We'll see how that goes. I probably will still, because I do have it. Oops, my screen is messing up. Uh-oh. Okay, now it's going good again. Sorry about that. I probably better get off. My internet might be messing up. But let me hurry up and recap real quick. If you place that $35 order before shipping and tax using the host code you see there, then I will give you the card kits to make 2 each of these cards. So the DSP, anything that is die cut, that is not stamped, I do for you, and the embossing. I showed you the card kits at the beginning, so if you didn't see the beginning of the video, you can come back and watch the recording and watch the beginning of it. If you bump it up to a $50 order, you get the full pack of these snowflakes. So it does come with these 2 sheets. Here's what the actual full pack looks like. And you'll get those for $50. And then when you get, also you'll get that $5 bonus coupon from Stampin' Up! For placing a $50 order before shipping and tax. So if you have any questions, just comment, or you can click that contact me link and I'll get right back with you. So that's what that does. We click the contact me link, fill that out, and then it emails it to me right away. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to me. So I'm really glad you guys got to come and bring my comments back up again. Okay, looks like I caught up on everybody. If I missed anybody's comments, I promise I always look at them once the video's over, because when I get to working, sometimes it's hard to look up and look at both of my screens to see your comments. So I have not missed them. Okay, so I think, yep, I'm always afraid I'm forgetting something. At the end, it's like the rush. I'm starting to go down because the cards are done. Everything went smoothly, but then I forget what I want to say. So I told you about the class. We've got the door prize. Everybody that's commented here during the live, always have to angle these. Those are the red rhinestones. So what I will do, as soon as the live is over, I'll put everybody's names in my little wheel that I showed at the beginning, get the winner, and then I'll come back and post it on Facebook, and I'll post it on my communities tab in YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and I'll also put it in the comments in both videos, so that way you can find it. And then those of you that are watching live and the recording and comment, so even though if you're watching the recording, please comment, then I'll put your name in the wheel, and the winner of these will be announced in the live next week. So these are the opaque adhesive-backed gems. These are also retired. I'm giving away all my retired embellishments I have left over. And I think that is it. So I will be back probably about half an hour, let's say half an hour to an hour, because it does look like I have a lot of comments this time, so it might take me a little longer to get everybody's names in that wheel. So I will see you. Oh, you got to add me on YouTube. Okay, sounds good, Michelle. I'm glad you liked it. Thanks, Michelle. I just saw your pretty comment. Thank you so much. Okay, well, I will be back again next Thursday. It's always Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's what the ET is. I always put next to it. Sometimes people aren't sure what that means. Oh, hi, Debbie. These are perfect for patriotic cards. Yeah, they could be patriotic cards too, for sure. They definitely could be. Okay, but definitely Christmas in July. So I will see you again next week. Have a great night and have a great weekend. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.